me that you have a better experience in private school because you were jumping wall, you were scrabbing, you were cracking stone. That is not educational experience. The educational experience is something that is going to impact your life in the future. Your secondary school will determine whether you are continuing school or you are dropping out.
We prioritize fun and crazy stuff over things that actually impact society.
Me, I learned how to lay my bed because of the high school I went to.
Having the consciousness to behave doesn't have to do with whether there's a boy or there's a girl around. If you are well behaved, you are well behaved.
Boys intentionally break the rules to show that, they are tough guys to impress their girls.
I see Africans believe that our suffer, so we should suffer.
For me, I don't really have that courage to move up to a girl and talk to a girl or something.
Aww.
Welcome to another episode of Speak Up Live. Today, we're discussing the role education plays in shaping our future, with a focus on whether your high school really determines your success in life. Our first prompt for discussion is, your secondary school determines your educational success. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree. Let the debate begin.
So for me, I agree that your secondary school determines your educational success. I agree largely to this because I feel like the secondary school is where you have, a chunk of your education. The primary school might have contributed to, your success and even you getting into a secondary school. But realize that when you are in a secondary school, the kind of things that you learn in your secondary school and the kind of people that you also meet, you meet people from diverse backgrounds and you get to actually leverage on these people as you grow up.
Your secondary school will determine whether you are continuing school or you are dropping out. Because if you don't perform very well, you have to come back and then be writing this NOBDEC and if NOBDEC 2 is not for the week. So if you are not ready to learn, you are not able to achieve much whilst you are in secondary school, then I'm telling you, come and write NOBDEC every year to write NOBDEC. And that will determine whether you go to university or you wouldn't go.
Your parents can actually afford to take you to a private school, and that private school is going to you're going to meet great people there. Backgrounds actually matter when it comes to success in secondary school. It really does matter. You can actually not know anything. You go to school, you meet people, and then they say if you're around 6 people and 5 people are stupid, you counted wrong. You were 6. If you're around 7 people and 6 people are rich, definitely you are going to fall to, to the next number. So it actually matters. The secondary school you attend really matters. It helps us in a whole lot of things that we don't take into consideration because we are not intentional people as Africans. I am actually now getting to understand that being intentional doesn't really matter about how, you have to just pay attention. You have to feel. You have to understand. Do you get? So I understand. It really does matter.
My secondary school has held me a lot in the sense of the people that I knew in my secondary school. Growing up, I realized that a lot of my job opportunities that I had were people that I met in my secondary school. And this has largely contributed to my success.
To add to what my brother here said, when we go to secondary school, we meet different people from different backgrounds and they help us improve or actually come down from where we come from. You learn new things from them. You get to realize that, certain things that I even know or certain things that I thought I knew better, there are more to it than what it is. And I believe it's really a great success if you learn and attend a good secondary school.
I don't believe in your secondary school adding up to your success because people attend Achimota and they are drug addicts. People attend Amasama LA and they are ministers. I don't believe in your secondary school making your success. It's your brain, your determination, what you want to become in future.
What we learn in SHS is more of theories and doesn't even tell if someone is intelligent or not. It just let us know so the person has a past memory.
People go to school not to become something. They went to school because their mother said go to school. I went to school because I want to become somebody in future. I'm looking after somebody. It's not my mother that told me to go to school. So if you are going to Achimota because your mother says you should go to school, somebody in Amasama LA will become a better person than you in Achimota. So it's not your secondary.
They said educational satisfaction. They didn't say betterness. They say educational.
Education. Are you trying to become better without education?
Yeah, so you are taking that out.
People have.
No, but your educational success is not the school. People in Amasama LA, and they came out with grade 8 than people in Achimota with 47. That's what I'm still standing on. That is not the school that will give you the grade. It's your mental stability and whatever you are supposed to put in. You can go to Achimota and not learn anything and come out with 47. And somebody goes summer early and come out with 8.
Yeah.
So it's not the school. It's you, your brain. If it's not working, it's not working. It's not the school.
I mean, in everything that happens, we have something called a success rate.
Yes.
Let's look at the success rate here and let's be realistic. Now, we have people who go to Achimota that do not make it. We have people who go to the early that she's talking about that do make it. But when we have to look at the success rate, how many people out of that early make it and how many people out of, Achimota make it? Now, I earlier mentioned the kind of people that you surround yourself with or find around you in your high school, goes a long way in contributing to your educational success. Now, we all know the kind of people that you would find in Achimota, and the kind of people that you would find in these are people that would actually contribute, can help you because of where they are coming from.
I think educational success is more personal than societal, right? You are the utmost person who benefits from your educational success. I mean, everybody else is going to rub their shoulders off with you, like, yeah, we are associating with you, but it's a really personal thing. I know people who have gone to big secondary schools, and it is not a sure banker that your educational success or your educational success will be a positive one. I think I feel strongly that in secondary school is more of the person, right? Your determination. Of course, I mean, getting to associate with people in the school, I call them add-ons, but really, like when you're analyzing it like material as a whole, you going to a big school and yes, sure bank that you would eventually end up with educational success. I know people who have traveled out of the country doing their PhD and their masters, and they didn't go to your big schools. Yes, it's going to give you networking. That, okay, when you're done with tertiary, I know this girl I went to Infantsman Girls, so I know this girl from Infantsman Girls and blah, 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 right? But if as a person, your educational success, right? This is not in association with, where you attended school. If you are not successful, and my friend who is also an old girl wants to help you, and you don't qualify for it, your association with her is useless. You get it?
Agree with you.
So I think that I don't agree. Your secondary school determines directly your educational success.
After BEC, I think now they are not using the grades to give the schools again, because I knew people that did very well and then they went to schools that we've not even heard of before, and then they are very, very intelligent. So I think it's personal. It depends on the person, not the school. The school doesn't do much. Depends on the person.
When you say the school doesn't do much, I don't understand. Because let's look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents wanted to give you a base. That is why they selected one of the best schools within your locality to enroll you in.
Mm.
Have you ever asked yourself what was their reason to do that?
Do you want the base?
Their reason.
So listen. No.
Do you want to become a successful person?
Calm down. Your parents wants you to be successful.
Do you want to be successful?
Do you want to?
Hold up, let me finish.
Okay, finish.
Right. At that point, probably you are not in the right state of mind to make that decision. You'd grow up, you'd get to a stage in life.
Secondary school.
Oh man. let me learn. Probably you are not in the right state of mind to make that decision as to where do you want to go? Your parents are the ones who would give you that base. Let's even look at it from, junior high or primary. Your parents chose to take you to this school amongst all the schools in the locality. Their main reason was that, no, this school is actually a good school. What makes it a good school? Your parents have seen that, no, they have a good pass rate. They have good teachers. They have good educational facilities. Things that are going to contribute to your success.
But if you're not serious, you're not serious.
Let's finish.
If you're not serious, you're not serious. You can have all those things and still not be successful.
There's always an exception. That is why she said that someone will go to LA. You said you went to the best school in Ghana, which is not true. Well, you went to a school. I went to the best college in the whole of West Africa.
Mm.
Right. Now,
My parents decided to take me to the best college in the whole of West Africa because they felt like, no, this is actually a school that checks all their boxes. So let me send my son to that school. Let him get that base. Now, when I get there and I decide to do otherwise, it is up to me. I decided to do
That's
otherwise.
what's making it personal.
No, I decided the thought of your parents even taking you to that school, giving you a base.
So does it mean
They
everyone in that school?
Everyone,
It adds up to your success.
Okay.
Adds up to your success.
It
Your
adds up.
Let me just
your
ask. Let me
parents-
just ask you something.
let me learn. Your parent knows what's best. They know that no, this is actually a best place that can give my son the best base to actually
You
stand on
want
to
to be the
become.
best. Okay, let me
I
ask,
mean,
let me ask you
that one is an unforeseen circumstance. Your parent didn't anticipate that coming in. You understand? They didn't understand that I'm going to take you to that school and
You're not
you are
gonna be
going to be
serious.
a rowdy guy, going to be doing that, going to be that.
Okay, can I
All
ask
things being equal, they know that no, if I send my son to this school,
It's gonna
the kind of teachings, the principles, and I mean, educational success, mind you, has not only got to do with probably
self.
teaching. Also, principles helps you to achieve educational success. You might be in a school that this is a school that, let me say, they are deeply rooted in probably Christianity or like to moral upbringing. All these things adds up. So your parents, even in their rights, state of mind, have scouted a lot of schools within the locality, and I've said that no, this is actually the school I want my son to go to. Have you ever asked yourself why?
Okay, so let me ask you something. When you want to be admitted to do medicine at Legon, what is the requirement you need?
I mean, you need a minimum of about grade 6.
Good. Your school is immaterial. They need your grades.
Hold on.
They are not going to admit you because you went to a big school.
Yeah.
They're not going to admit you on that score. It's a personal thing.
That's fair enough. The point you have raised is 100% right.
The point
But
you are
now,
raising is
then again, like I said, the success rate that I said earlier. Now, how many of them will you find from the earliest that are getting that 06?
Okay, hold on. How many schools? Let's even
To be frank, even if you go to the medical school right now, if you go to the medical,
would
go
give
to-
you admission.
if you go to UGM, if you go to
the schools in the US don't even know that this adult exists on the planet Earth. Nobody knows that school. It is your
go
grade
to-
that will take you there.
if you go to the medical school right now,
Hold on.
you have a chunk of their students
Hold
coming
on.
from Prosec.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3.
Which
might be
statistics
coming
do you have
from-
to back that? Hold on.
I mean,
From which
I
data?
wouldn't have
From
any
which
statistics.
research? Yes, then let's
But-
not speak on conjecture.
I can tell you because
Let's not speak on
why I'm
conjecture.
saying this is because whenever a batch graduates, you see, pages online, there are old students that are actually posting. You see, a class that graduated for about 150 students. You see, Prosec has posted their page, 38 students, all from Prosec. What does it tell you? What does it tell you? What does it tell you? It tells you that we are doing well.
Public government secondary schools provide a better educational experience than private schools. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree.
My experience in high school and why I'm choosing this is the fun part of it. Like when I got to tertiary, some of my friends who came from, these higher schools, sometimes when they're having conversations with them and you're trying to tell them the kind of things that you did way back in high school, they are like, really? Do you guys used to do this? They don't have that experience. And for that reason alone, it can be that probably the educational quality is not the best there, what have you, but I'm looking at experience. What I experienced in high school. My experience could be my friends. It could be me skipping classes. It could be me going to town, hanging around with the, the area guys in the locality, the Jama and what have you. For me, that's my experience. And for that reason,
It's not equivalent experience.
it's an educational experience because you get to learn, something out of it.
The school being a good school doesn't depend on just learning, like the values, what they teach, what you do, like what they teach you to do and all that. And then if I compare, I feel like with the government schools, they teach a lot because like with the public schools, they are going to teach you all right. But then things like cleaning, taking care of your rooms, all those things. They have people doing all those things for you. But then with the government schools, they teach you all that because like no one is coming to clean your dormitory for you or do certain things for you. So I feel like with the government schools, it helps more than the private schools.
Private schools, they might have people doing that for them. They might have people laying their beds. I remember my high school every Wednesday evening and every Saturday morning inspections. You have to lay your bed. Me, I learned how to lay my bed because of the high school I went to, and that's an educational experience.
Yeah.
Me talking about the Jama and what have you because it doesn't look educational. Does not mean that we also didn't have some kind of educational experience. Now, I was in tertiary. I had the chance to come to mingle with people that came from the I realized some of them how they even do their things. Some of them I shouldn't to say dirty and what have you, but you can't come from a public school and you're doing this. My roommate, and
Come on now.
yo,
When he was talking about experience, there are certain government schools that the trauma that people come out there from, it impacts the whole society. Like, I don't even want to go into it, but because of the fun, we prioritize fun and crazy stuff over things that actually impact society. There are people that are from, I went to a government secondary school, and the kind of experience I had, I wish I went to a private school. Because the connections, let's even leave the connections aside. The trauma people go into secondary school, government secondary school, and then they come out being different than what their parents took them in with. Like, they now become something else. I don't want to use names and, put...
How sure are you that public schools, people don't...
There are. Definitely there are. But, the secondary schools have... when you go to a private secondary school, there are places where some of them even have therapy. Some of them even have people you can actually go and put your complaint forms in there. In government schools, how many people even care about that? They do, but how serious do they take, like, our government schools? Yeah. How serious do they take that? Personally, I am so invested in our mental health and how we impact the society more because that really speaks so much about us. Mm-hmm. I was listening when you guys were discussing about how parents and trauma goes. It doesn't matter how you got that trauma. What matters is what you are doing to actually combat whatever you've been through. Do you understand? So this public school and private school situation, I highly recommend private school. If you have the money, take your kids to private school because it's not about that dirtiness. Why your mom and dad didn't train you in the house? Or are you trying to tell me that the government sectors are actually going to train you better than they were trained in the house? No.
Some families.
I do get that. That's how come we have, trauma from the house. But at the same time, you are not coming to tell me that your mom and dad didn't train. The least they will do, the least they will do, have somebody in the house. That somebody in the house is going to even add to the trauma or actually help you be a better person. You cannot detect or say, oh, because I have to go to work, my kids are not being... It takes time, and intentionality.
Me, I didn't go to a private school. My generation of my family don't go to private. The people after us, everybody's in private school. It's not because of free education. My dad decided that nobody will go to a public school again because the private school that I went to, I hurt my hand by cracking stone. I hurt my leg when we were reading. Somebody with cutlass to cut me. You are telling me that. I see, Africans believe that I'll suffer, so you should suffer.
There is not a word. There is
Hold on. When you're making your point, I didn't talk. Hold on.
Sorry.
I get quiet. Because I know when I make my point, you don't understand.
Okay.
You cannot tell me that because somebody one day said that in my school they was for us, that means every private school doesn't have the ruling. You are like, hey, my cousins are in AIS. You are supposed to visit your children once a month. It's composed. If you don't go, they fine you. Because they believe that you, the parents, you need to come and give your child that kind of love to make the child to be able to have and to be able to be focused in classroom. Because if your children are missing you, they may not be focused in classroom. In a public school, when your parents come, they don't even want to call you. They don't even want to call you for your parents to visit you.
It's a lie.
Then hold on. When you're making your points, I still didn't talk. Hold on. Then you are telling me that because you went to a private school and they punish you and you were jumping fence, you are going to have a better experience than me that was going to Cambridge schools that if my WASI doesn't work, I can use my Cambridge to go to another school in the state. Is that what you are telling me? No. So you cannot tell me that you have a better experience in a private school because you were jumping wall, you were scrabbing, you were cracking stone. That is not educational experience. Educational experience is something that is going to impact your life in the future. You jumping the wall, you are going to be Arab. You are not going to be educated.
I was talking about.
Hold on. I said still hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Allah.
Hold on. You see, all of you are having this argument because when we get into politics, you understand that some of the things you are saying, educational experiences, the experience about education, not your jumping fence.
Intellectual.
It's something that you are supposed to have. Your common sense should tell you that that I went to that school, whether it is private or public, I need to take out the good and not the bad. If you went to public school and that public school is known for, look at Kimbo Secondary School, this is what they are having. You see them fighting each other. You haven't seen AIS or Galaxy Girls doing that in the country. No. Those people have a lot of connection. You go there and AIS doesn't even go to church on Sunday. The whole Sunday is for students to rest. You go to public schools on Sunday after church, then they are chasing them with cane. Go and win, go and carry go. You are telling me that experience is what you want for your children now.
Yeah, I went to Accra Academy and for about 3 years, not even a single teacher knew my name. I'm being honest with you.
Yes.
The last, I think the third term and they started saying, this guy is here, this not. But if it was to be a private school, even though I sit at the back, I run away from school, they would notice me. It's not about the all and entertainment and all those stuff. It's about what you are learning, what is on the table. I mean, maybe I went to a government school, but I don't think I'll send my child to.
Maybe they also notice you because of the class size. Because here, private schools will not admit. Because my class was a 55.
That is a disadvantage.
One boys
class.
We are only looking at the negative side of it.
We are not looking at the
If you guys actually understand the kind of experience
I went to
in my high school.
Disadvantage.
Who doesn't want the best for their kids?
Never.
It's a disadvantage.
Well,
see,
that's
the government
fine.
school, we can leave the dormitory for 1 week and no one will know.
Nobody will know. Private
Government school actually need some, resetting. They need to actually come and reset a lot of things in the government school.
I think if only you have the finances or if only you have the capital, the best is for you to send your child to a private school. Because myself, I went to Boku Secondary School from the north and it was not easy. The experiences I had, if I want to start, I'm sure maybe I would take me like 3 hours or so because it's really sad. Even if you look at the kind of food they even give you to some of us to eat, like we are animals. Okay, they will give you beans and rice, and even the beans, there's no oil inside. No, it's really a bad experience. And I'm not saying because I've started my child to suffer. No, you see. So I think
I thought you guys said experience is educational, but now moving to the rice and what see, if this experience way we know they get careful. This experience,
but you guys forget that.
See.
You cannot tell me that somebody from a private school and a government.
I have a capture ladder. Then I come and give it.
That's what I'm telling you. No. The way government knows
you'll be snatching bosses in parliament. This guy will be saying,
we will never vex. It's never vex. We will snatch the boss in parliament.
The way private school people actually carry themselves and the way the government school people carry themselves, you can see clear difference.
But when we
also the kind of experience that impacts the society.
When we come out in the university, when you see us, bro, there's
no clear.
You are jumping.
Oh, please.
Clear difference. There is no clear difference.
Educational experience is not just the books, right?
Thank you.
The whole complement, okay? Because I doubt that our parents sent us to certain secondary schools
To learn.
just because of the education. Education is personal. I still maintain that. But it was a whole package, right? Now, I say this because I can't speak to every senior high school. I attended Infantsman Girls Senior High School, and I can tell you 100%, if I had an opportunity to take my child to Infantsman, I'll so do it 100 times, okay?
My
That's
kids
because
are
of the
going
educational
there.
experience.
Kids
Now,
are going
there are things that you learn in school because I understand that educational experience is holistic, right? So you're learning to interact with people because you are dining, you're about 14 on the table. You need to learn to tolerate other people with their temperament and all those things. So if it is the case that the private schools don't have that, then I will lean towards the fact that public schools give that educational experience. That
Everywhere you need.
That's what I'm saying. If
Even
it's
if
anything
it's
to go by.
even if it's governmental or private, you need to be this private
Yes.
stuff.
And also,
No one is serving me. I put the way I share food.
also, okay, let me just make my point. And also, just to wrap, I'm saying that educational experience is holistic. Apart from the books, it's a whole package. If in private schools, they do not allow such interface like we get in the private schools as we do in the public schools, then I will lean towards there. I'll tell you why. Because one of the reasons why I'm so proud to say I'm an old girl of Infantsman, it's not necessarily because of the books. It's because of the people I met. It's because of things they taught me. It's because of things that I experienced that I thought would help me, apart from books, will help me as a person, which I call the add-ons, right? So if that is the case, then I seriously think that based on my experience in public secondary school, I will 100% choose that educational experience over private.
Okay, thank you. Wait, leave it. You say her experience.
At first, they used to pick out the best students to the best schools. Like you said, the people I met, they are not doing that anymore. You understand?
Everybody somewhere.
The best students are not going to Addis Ababa anymore. The best students.
What are the figures to back it?
Pardon?
What are the figures to
Madam,
back that?
Madam, yes,
Listen to me.
No, what are the figures? Because you need to have a certain grade to qualify to it.
Exactly. And it's still happening. It's still happening.
It's the reason why the Ghana Education Service, the Education Ministry, has been breathing down our neck saying that, look, if you know your child's grade does not qualify her to go to Infantsman, don't choose Infantsman girls. That's all.
Single-sex schools offer a more disciplined environment compared to mixed schools. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree.
I do not agree because I went to a mixed school, sorry. And then I think it was very, very impactful because I can say that was, excuse my language, that was where I had my, I got to know that we have this boy, though it's not a good thing to mention though, but that's why I got to know we have this boy-girlfriend relationship and all that. But the truth is that, when you are with the males, it's very, very impactful. For me, for instance, during my school time, and it was most of my classes, assignments and all that, it was a male that I was mostly interacting with. It was very, very impactful to me. And then I think it's good because you're able to know more. You're able to, as a lady, you are able to know how to dress out. You start from there. Even before you come to the office, you start from there. When you are if you are ladies and you are all together, there's certain attitude and certain things that you don't take care of them. When you are all girls, you see that, say, I am back. But when it comes that, even when you're coming out, I quite remember then when I went home, my mom bought some kambu for me, very big kambu. So there was one guy in the school who used to spy at me. So because of that, whenever I go to the school, I don't want to wear that kambu. Yes, when I'm going, I bought different ones from the market, I wear that one. So it makes you as a lady, you are always well dressed and then you are disciplining yourself because you see the opposite sex around. And then there's a whole lot of discipline too there because of the guys, they'll inform you the ladies to dress well, to cover yourself and then all that. And then I think it's very, very good and it will be very impactful for you even after school when you are out.
I don't think anybody should torture their children to go to a single-sex school. Because me and this girl can be in the same room and I'm comfortable. Immediately, I'm getting out of my room and I know that there will be a man. I know I can't go out looking anyhow.
Yeah.
I have a kind of discipline to go out. And it makes some of them so timid because they are all women. They don't know when a man this is a man. I need to keep quiet when there's a man. I need to listen when there's a man. But they believe that, okay, it's women. When there's a snake, he's going to kill it. But in a mid school, when they say slay, and the girls are going back, you see them men, the boys, even at that time, secondary school, the boys are going forward to show to the girl that is aspiring that me, I'm this one, I come to show off. So I don't believe in going to single. Me, I got more girls. My mother did not allow. Me, myself, I didn't want to allow. And I didn't go. So I don't believe in single sex school. It's not something I would advise. They need to cancel them. A lot of things are happening there that need to go down.
Wow. But which school do you go to?
Wow.
We went to know the secondary school I went to.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested.
The school I went to, I don't like it. I don't like my secondary school. I don't even mention it.
Why don't you?
When I see my classmates in town, they say, "Oh, I went to school." I don't even belong to my secondary school class group. I don't know what they do there.
What can relate to that?
I'm coming. I don't know what they do there because it's not like the school. It's not like it is the name of the school or anything. I feel that as at that time I was in the school, I didn't get. If not for my parents. Hold on. I'm coming when I mention it. Okay, I'm not mentioning it.
So I disagree that single-sex schools offer a more disciplined environment compared to mixed schools. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that they are single-sex or mixed, right? Having the consciousness to behave doesn't have to do with whether there's a boy or there's a girl around. If you are well behaved, you are well behaved. I mean, you don't have to see a guy to be well behaved. I went to a single sex school. I'll 100% take my girl child to a girls' school because it's not because I think they offer a disciplined environment. It's because I think in the mind of those who set up single sex, it was for a reason, right? We want to raise ladies, okay? So we've put ladies together in a particular school. We want to raise them in a certain way. I'm sure it's the same for the boys' school. Yeah. We want to raise men in a particular kind of way. And let's not negate the fact that some of these schools were also, for example, Fansman is a Methodist school. So we want to raise a woman or a Methodist girl into a Methodist woman, okay? So it has absolutely nothing to do with it. The reason why I disagree is because you can have really bad behavior, you can be a really shitty person, and it doesn't have to matter whether you're in a single-sex school or a mixed school. It's just the person, okay? So I disagree that single-sex schools offer more disciplined environments. There are so many times in school where people are beaten, people are punished. You can't force discipline into someone. It's a personal thing the person wants to do. I want to be well-behaved, I'll be well-behaved. It's really immaterial whether it's a girls' school or a mixed school. No. We know there isn't.
Oh,
there isn't.
Don't say that.
There isn't. There isn't. If you are not firm in mind, you allow people pollute you with a lot of things.
When you are
I went to secondary school
in mind about
a lady used to brush her teeth, right? When where the polytank is. When she's brushing, right, you have the paste all over her mouth. That doesn't have to influence me. I know it's It's not ladylike. Exactly. So the same way you're able to think through and process that something is not good for you, it doesn't mean that because it has influence over you. That could have had.
So for instance, let me come. For instance,
let me just end.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that discipline has nothing to do with mixed school or single sex school. It's a personal thing. If you want to be well behaved, you'll be well behaved. You don't have to see a man around. I don't have to see a man around to behave properly. Okay. I behave properly because I believe I should. Because I believe I want people to see a certain part about me. That's what I want to project. Okay. So I disagree that single sex schools, even though I went to a single sex school, I disagree that it offers more discipline than mixed schools.
For mine, I don't know if it's going to be biased. But for me, I went to a single sex school and the kind of discipline I had there.
In your jumping wall.
So you see, these were things that I wanted to do. But the kind of discipline that the school authorities instilled in us, they made sure that you made some statement. We'll be snatching, ballot boxes and things at parliament. The kind of discipline we had way back wouldn't make me do that now. I don't know if I'm being biased here because I went to a single-sex school, but let me say it again. The kind of discipline I had over there, I really, really appreciate that discipline. I really, really, really appreciate that discipline because that discipline is what has made me who I am now. And for that reason, I feel the single-sex schools offer a more disciplined environment than the mix.
Okay, so I disagree that single-sex schools offer more. I agree to disagree. I'll make my point clear because a lot of us, I personally, I don't know how to be confrontational. But because of the school that I went to, which was a mixed school, helped me one way or the other because now I can actually tell people to F off. Sorry for my language, but with single-sex school, a lot of people are, guy, girl, they're quiet, but they're not able to speak up for themselves most of the time when they need to. They don't have that, confidence and all that. Even though I'm not saying mixed school gives you all that, it gives you a little bit of charisma. It gives you a lot, not even a little bit, a lot of charisma. So I believe, it adds up to, that discipline, if I would say. That's all I have to say.
And when you say, because we went to a single-sex school, we didn't talk to ladies, it's a lie. Maybe. We had interpol, we had entertainment. See, we could take her from here to St. Rose's with our uniforms and Charlie. We used to call our uniforms for guests.
If you're talking about the discipline, if intercall they come like this, the way I go wash my zebra, clean my shoes, trying to look.
See, you don't even have
full discipline.
A lot of you do that, but how many of you have the confidence to actually move up? A lot of people would clean up, want to look good and present. Yeah. But how many of them have the confidence and the charisma to move forward to go and do that?
I don't know about sex. I don't know about Taka. But where I'm coming from, we move.
In a mixed school I went, I feel like that's where the influence comes in. I feel like boys intentionally break the rules to show that, they are tough guys to impress the girls. This our generation single-sex girls. Yeah, single-sex, no one cares. But then you see our generation, the guys think that if you are a hard guy, if you're a stubborn guy, that's when you are going to get the girls. So they ask you to tuck in, they ask you to cut your hair. But because you want to impress the girls, they are like, oh no, you're not going to. And then you can see some very calm person coming from a very good home. But then because of the influence, because of what he's learning from his colleagues, he's trying to impress the girls. He has become something else. So I feel like a single-sex schools help.
Yeah. So for me, I think single-sex schools are more disciplined because when it comes to academic disciplines, especially when it's prep time, you only see boys focused on their books because there are no girls around to disturb them or something.
So we are disturbance.
Yeah. Disturbance.
So
you see boys focused on their books.
Guys are right.
Learning because if you don't and you're making noise, our chaplain, Reverend Father will come. So you lash you. So you have to be smart and always learn. And what she was saying about the timidness, me, our school, we didn't really get the opportunity to go to interpol and all those things.
And jump the wall.
What school is that? St. Paul's.
Yeah, voter regime. So we didn't get that opportunity. So for me, I don't really have that courage to move up to a girl and talk to a girl or something.
Oh.
So your reason.
You need to go to him for some lecture.
So it's good and bad side.
So you for use them. Don't use mistake. No use mistake.
Free SHS is sacrificing quality for quantity. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree.
Okay, so for me, free SHS policy has been able to make more people attend schools because some Ghanaian parents don't have money to take their children to school. So I think the government did a really good thing by introducing the free SHS policy to ensure that everyone who completes the junior high school would be able to attend the secondary school and have an experience of how it is.
Yeah. This is a bit of a political thing because there's something that's out for political debate in the country now as we're speaking. But I feel free education, let me not say free SHS, free education is not only a thing here in Ghana. If you go to Western world, my cousins, my brothers who are not in Ghana are actually benefiting from free education, and the quality is still being maintained. The fact that their government has introduced a free education policy for them that they are enjoying does not mean that they have compromised on the quality. But what we have here in Ghana has to do with probably having right policies or right measures in place to actually control it or care, because out there in the Western world, even though they are free education, it's not everyone that actually goes in for it. There are some people that still go out, to private or the schools that they would actually, pay. And it's their choice. But over here, in terms of free SHS, like my friend said earlier, most of the elite schools are all public and everybody wants to be in the elite school. So it makes everybody come to the public school, which now some people are trying to come up with some arguments that is compromising on the quality. So for me, what I think is that policies and structures needs to be put in place well so that that thing can be properly, disseminated so that people can actually have the right quality of education that they need. And for me, I don't think that's a sacrificing quality for quantity. You can still have it and still maintain the quality.
Free SHS in Ghana is like, I don't know if I should say it's like a disaster, because like we are just plenty, there's nothing going on. And they teach and all that, but like we are okay. So in my school, my class, we were like 63, and that's just one track. Another track 60, and then every semester you spend like 2 months in school, and then you come home and be in the house for like 3 months, and then you would have to go. So what happens to the people that don't have money to go to classes and all that? So like we was just focusing on getting people into it. It wasn't focusing on like the teaching. Yeah, because like when I was in form 2 or form 3, we were still doing form 1 topics because like there was no time. So the teacher would come and be like, go and learn. So like most of the things we do, we did it, we learned it ourselves. And the ones that were not able to learn, they were left behind. So I feel like they were just focusing on pushing people into the secondary school.
So I'm going to stay with Ghana. I'm not going outside anywhere. It's Ghana I am, and I'm going to stay with Ghana. The quality of the free SHS that is being sacrificed is because we don't have enough of the schools to accommodate the backlog of people that could not afford education, basic education. And now that it became free, they are like, oh, let me also go and have basic education. So if there was no backlog from people having not to have money to have the education, there will not be a lot of them that want to try and go to school at the same time. People have finished JSS 10 years, and they waited until the free education was implemented for them to go to SS because their parents could not afford SS.
Yeah.
So it is the country that we are, we don't have enough educational settings. Let's start from there. If you had enough educational settings, and the education at those times was very affordable for every menial parent to be able to afford to put 3 or 4 children in school, we will not have a backlog of people that want to come and go to free education. So that is why the quantity became a lot. There were a lot of people that wanted to, okay, let me also have a basic education. So we need to have a system in place that basic education should not be something that people should suffer for. Because if I have a basic education with my SS certificate, I can wait. and go to university, I will do some work, get some money and go to university, you know. But not with a certificate. I cannot go anywhere with just a certificate. Sometimes you go and learn trade, yes. But with another certificate, even if I get a visa to go to another country, I can still go to another school. But we didn't have that access of the education was, people have 4 children and the school fees was high. And they will be like, okay, then you go first. Let your brother wait. By the time the sister is waiting, then she get pregnant. Then the brother will finish. So if we had enough facility and the school fees was very affordable for everybody to be able to afford education. Other countries are able to afford education. That's why people decide that I won't go to free education. I can afford it. But we are in a country where poverty rate is high. You understand? So people cannot even afford basic education. So if something becomes free and they are all going, it's because I cannot afford it by myself. And now the government is making it available. Let me also take the opportunity to get at least a basic education to be able to have a certificate. That's how come the quantity became a lot. And doesn't mean because they are a lot, they were not teaching. I had cousins that did not go to private school. And when the private school brought her result in, and the free education that was doing double track brought her result in, we are asking the one that went to private school, what did she go and do in school? You understand? And it goes back to the mentor and how you were determining your free education to get a good grade. People went to free education and you see their result online. People are even ready to help them go to university because they got good grades. With this double track we are talking about, that was not good. You understand? So it is the country that we are. We need to talk about a lot of educational systems need to be open. We don't have enough schools in Ghana. We have population of people that give birth to poor children. And in that place, they have only one school. How are they all going to go to that school? We need to have more schools. Then the quantity will reduce for the quality to be in the schools. That is what I think.
I think, and this is not political, so for everybody with a political lens, please, let's just settle the issues, discuss them as they are. I think, in my estimation, free SHS has sacrificed quality for quantity for a few reasons. For example, feeding, right? The commentary and the complaints around feeding was that before the free SHS policy was decentralized, right? So if I'm a headmistress of a school, I have 1,000 students, the school fees, I'm able to allocate this to that, and then I can run my school seamlessly. Now, everything became centralized, right? So you're sitting there waiting for central government to provide food for you. I think it sacrificed quality for quantity in terms of feeding, in terms of teaching. Feeding, I've already explained. Teaching, I heard about, is it the green, the gold, and the
double track.
The double track. I didn't hear any double track for teachers. So my thinking is that it's the same teachers who are teaching all year round. Isn't that exhausting, right? For the same teachers to be teaching all year round with no rest.
They shifted.
Okay.
No, they shifted.
Okay, so that's it. They shift the teachers, right? So at least you have some teachers coming in and going. The issue is that, are you able to have a lot of contact hours? Because I'm thinking that the class sizes would have also been large, right?
Yeah.
I mean, more than it would have been. So I'm just saying that free SHS, and I think the implementation was a little problematic. I think we've already established that the implementation had issues. But I think we were over-fixated on quantity than quality. Yes. I think it should have gone together. If the free SHS as we had it was giving us both quality and quantity at the same time, yeah, but that's not what I'm saying, because I also have cousins and then nephews and nieces who are in schools, and they come and they tell you their experiences, like we are a lot, and then in the dorm, and then all that. So I think based on what I have heard from people who have gone through the tracks, who have gone through secondary school, they are telling me, I think the numbers is a problem. It's affecting feeding. It's affecting a whole lot of things, even the comfort of the students themselves. So I think this is not political, but I think that we should, in as much as we wanted to prioritize the quantity, I think we may have, whether consciously or unconsciously, taken away the fact that it has affected the quality as well.
I would also agree to the motion, to the fact that I would always go for quality over quantity. And to be honest, let's say in 10 years to come, Ghana is going to have a set of a group of people who are all educated, but to what extent? how quality was the education. Let's say there wasn't free education, and let's say we'd have 60% of our kids being educated. Let's say they are well educated, than to have 80% or 90% being actually educated. And secondly, I think Ghana wasn't ready for something like this, because not even most developed nations don't have anything like this. So I think it should have been free vocational.
They don't have free SHS, but they have free
Education.
Education. Okay, but I think it should have been free vocational training than free SHS, because after the vocational training, you just go out there and do your work. But after free SHS, we all know that they did free SHS because they realized that most of us cannot pay their fees. So if we can't pay common SHS fees, what should say they will pay university fees?
This free education and even looking at everything from day one, things was not well implemented. I don't want to be political. I don't want to mention anybody. Yes, but things was not really implemented, because if you can remember, this free SHS thing was there long time ago, before this 8 years. It was, yes, it's me for instance, I attended free SHS. By then, everything was free. Then we're just buying 1 or 2 books. That's all. But this time around, everything was a mess up, because things was not really put in place. I don't want to, as I said, I don't want to mention any government, but things was not really put in place. And that's what had affected our sisters and brothers so badly. And then I think coming forward, things should be put in place. For now that we have a new government, we'll also urge that they will put things together for us, so that our sisters and our brothers can enjoy the free SHS overall.
Well, I agree that free SHS has sacrificed, quality for quantity, because one, we all know how quantity over quality ends up. And if our government was really interested to give us, free education, he should have put in place a whole system that would govern this free education world for us to benefit, not to just go through it like how we're, going into the sea to just swim and come out. It's very important to take things serious in a country. And this free education, as my sister said, it's been here not today. And I think what they should have done is go to the private sectors that are in the country, help them build more infrastructures that would help the free education stay in place and for a long time, not just for a short time. As she said, not to politicize it, but it is for our own good. And we need to take things serious, things very serious, things that will bring, good change into the country. We need to take it serious. So I really agree that they have chosen quantity over quality.
You see, people don't understand why the free education was needed. I go back to the poverty rate in Ghana. That made people not to be able to afford education. And everybody needs education. This is not politics. The more educated you are, the more we are able to hold people accountable when they are lying.
But what's the quality?
Hold on.
What's the quality?
Hold on. I understand you.
Now, even before this,
I am saying that
we're going to school.
The quality will have been there when we have enough structures.
True.
I said it. You guys just don't want to listen and you think it's political. No. We need the structures. The structure needs to come in. I said it from the beginning. If the structures was there, we don't need to have 300 students in a class.